An acting student lands her first tiny role on a real movie set, hoping no one notices how scared she is. But a world-famous actor and producer does notice, and the way he watches her changes the air around them. Soon, an unexpected invitation leads her into a high-stakes casting for his next film. As production begins, their professional distance starts to fade, and a global promotion tour puts them even closer under bright lights and constant attention. The biggest question is what will happen when the cameras finally stop. Chapter 1. The smallest role, the biggest look. I still remember the first time I saw her on set, because everyone else treated her like background noise. She was an acting student with a borrowed coat and a script that had been folded so many times the edges looked tired. Her role was small, just a few lines in a living room scene, the kind of part that disappears if the editor blinks. She stood near the call sheet board, whispering her lines under her breath like a prayer. Then the cameras rolled. Her voice came out steady, warm, real, not loud, not dramatic, just honest. She made the room feel smaller, like we were all listening from behind a door. The crew got quiet without being told, and that was when I noticed him, the famous actor, the producer, the man whose face filled billboards and whose name could open any studio gate. He stood near the monitor with the stillness of someone who had seen everything before, but his eyes didn't move away from her. When the director called cut, she exhaled like she had been holding her breath for years. She tried to step back into the shadows, back into the safe place where nobody expects anything. But he walked toward her instead, not with a crowd, not with an announcement, just a calm smile, like he didn't want to scare her off. "You did something special in there," he said. "Would you come to a casting tomorrow? For a film I'm producing." Her hands tightened around her notebook. "Me? I barely had a role." "That's why I'm asking," he answered. "You didn't have much, and you still made it matter." Chapter 2. The casting that changed everything. The next day, she arrived early, dressed in her best version of confidence. A neat blazer, a simple blouse, hair brushed back like she was trying to look older than her nerves. The casting room was bright and clean, with a taped mark on the floor and silence that felt expensive. A casting assistant adjusted papers. A seasoned director sat with a pen ready, the kind of man who could judge a performance with one raised eyebrow. And the producer was there too, watching, waiting. She began softly, then found her center. She didn't reach for tricks or big tears. She listened. She reacted. She let the words land in her body before they left her mouth. Halfway through, something shifted. It wasn't just a good audition. It was a person showing who she was when she stopped trying to impress anyone. When she finished, she stood still, breathing through the last emotion, refusing to apologize for it. The producer didn't clap. He didn't need to. He just nodded once, like he'd made a decision long ago and was now only confirming it. Later, in the hallway lined with framed film photos, he handed her a folder. "I want you for the role," he said, her eyes widened. "But there are so many actresses." "I know," he replied, "and I'm choosing you." Her hands shook as she took the folder, not because she didn't want it, but because she did. So badly it scared her. "Yes," she thanked him, her voice broke. She tried to hide it with a laugh. He lowered his voice. "You don't have to pretend you're not overwhelmed. Just promise me you'll show up ready to work." She swallowed and nodded. "I will. I promise." Chapter 3. Closer under the same lights. Shooting began on a coastal road at sunrise, with the ocean behind the trucks and the wind tugging at everyone's coats. She learned quickly. Marks on the ground. Continuity notes. How to find the camera without looking for it. How to keep the emotion alive after the 15th take. And the producer stayed close, not hovering, not controlling, just present. He watched her scenes with a focus that felt personal, like he wasn't only protecting the film, but also protecting her chance. Some days he coached her gently in a rehearsal room with mirrored walls. He didn't talk down to her. He spoke like she mattered, like her instincts had value. Other days he kept his distance because the set was full of eyes and rumors travel faster than footage. But small moments slipped through, a blanket placed over her shoulders during a freezing night shoot. A cup of tea set beside her script without a word. A quiet, private smile when she nailed a difficult scene and tried to pretend it was nothing. One night, the rain machines drenched the street set. Her trench coat clung to her hair soaked, her breath visible in the backlight. She delivered a raw take that made the crew forget to move. When the director finally called cut, she stood trembling, unsure if it was cold or emotion. The producer's gaze met hers from under the canopy, not the gaze of a boss, something softer, something that asked a question he wasn't ready to speak. She looked away first, like she was afraid of the answer. Chapter 4: Red Carpets and Quiet Truths. When filming wrapped, everyone expected the distance to return. Work was done, the story was in the can, and real life usually steps back in. But then came promotion, first a premiere, then another. Country after country. Interviews, photo calls, late-night talk shows, private cars with tinted windows, hotel rooms with schedules scattered like fallen leaves on the red carpet. She learned how to smile without shaking. She learned where to place her hands. She learned how to answer questions that sounded innocent, but were designed to pull secrets into the open. And through all of it, he stayed beside her. Sometimes he offered his arm when the crowd pressed close. Sometimes he leaned in to quietly explain a tradition in a place she'd never been. Sometimes he let her talk, really talk, in the quiet spaces nobody filmed. One night, after a premiere, they sat in the back of a car while city lights slid across the glass. She stared at her reflection in the window. "I keep waiting to wake up," she admitted. He didn't tease her. He didn't dismiss it. "Do you regret it?" he asked. She turned to him. "No, I'm just scared I'll lose it." His thumb moved gently over her fingers, slow enough to feel like a promise. "You won't," he said. "Not if I can help it." In a hotel suite later, she read reviews with wide eyes, half laughing. Half crying, he set tea beside her and watched her like she was the best part of the whole project. And I knew then, even before he did, that he was already falling. He was just trying to stay professional long enough to make it safe for her. Chapter 5: The Question Under the Skyline. Their final stop on the tour was a city that glittered like it was built for romance. After the last press event, he asked her to join him for dinner. No team, no cameras, just the two of them, high above the streets at a rooftop restaurant lit by candles and soft music. She looked beautiful in a simple navy dress, and not because of the fabric or the styling, because she looked like herself again, not like a person performing confidence for strangers. He barely touched his food. He watched her speak, watched her laugh, watched her pause when she realized he was studying her like a scene he didn't want to end. "I need to tell you something," he said, voice low. Her smile faded into careful attention. "Okay." He took a breath, the kind that actors take before a line that matters. Only this time there was no script. "I've tried to be careful," he said, "because your career is just starting and the world can be cruel. But the truth is, I don't want a life where you're only a memory from a set." Her eyes filled, not with panic, but with recognition that he reached toward a small velvet box on the table. "I fell in love with you," he said. "Will you be my wife?" For a heartbeat, the city, noise disappeared. It was just candles, warm air, and her hands shaking as she reached for him. "Yes," she whispered, like she was afraid the word might break if she said it too loudly. Then she said it again, stronger. "Yes." He stood and pulled her into his arms, careful, like he was holding something precious and real. The next morning, sunlight spilled across their hotel balcony, and she turned her hand as if she couldn't believe what she saw as he kissed her forehead. "We'll do this the right way," he promised. Chapter 6: A Home Beyond the Cameras. They married in a garden filled with white flowers and quiet joy. Nothing about it felt like a show, even though the world would eventually hear about it. It felt private in the places that mattered. The way he looked at her as she walked toward him, the way her voice steadied when she said her vows, the way their hands held on like neither wanted to let go. When the rings slipped into place, she laughed through tears. He smiled like a man who had finally stopped running from his own happiness. Afterward, he brought her home. His mansion stood behind tall gates, warm lights glowing from wide windows. like the house had been waiting for her to arrive. She stepped into the foyer and froze, taking in the chandelier, the sweeping staircase, the polished floor that reflected them like a movie shot. "This is too much," she said, breathless. He took her hand. "It's just a building," he replied. "Home is who's in it." Later, when the noise of the world was far away, they sat by a fireplace in comfortable clothes, her legs tucked under her, his hand wrapped around hers. She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Do you think people will understand?" she asked. He kissed her hair. "They don't have to," he said. "We do." And in that quiet room, with firelight dancing on the walls, it didn't matter who he was to the world. He was just a man in love. And she was no longer a student hoping for a chance. She was his wife, and the next chapter of her life was finally hers to write. If you enjoyed this romantic celebrity love story, please subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and give this video a like. Also, comment what your favorite moment was, and share the video with someone who loves heartfelt romance and behind-the-scenes stories.